Hey, welcome back to the channel. So today we've got an interesting looking Sudoku. It seems to be a lot going on, which is why it kind of caught my attention. So it's called No Odd Nights by Taco. And as you'll see, we got a few rule sets that we're gonna have to go through and figure out what the heck's going on here. So we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. So every row, every column, and every 3x3 box contains digits 1 through 9 once each. Odd digits cannot repeat within a knight's move. Even digits don't have this restriction. So I'm assuming what that means is, let's say this is an odd digit. I'm just going to put a 1 mark in there. That means that if this is, then none of these digits here, because these are how a knight moves in chess, could be odd. And if it was even, it does not have the restriction, is what it said. So now we've got, the next one is the gray circles contain odd digits. So these gray circles are odd digits. Digits in a cage sum to the number mentioned in the top left corner. So there's 1 cage up here. So these 2 digits just have to equal 10. Digits separated with a white dot are consecutive. So these 2 digits, whatever they are, they just have to be 1 apart from each other or consecutive. Same goes for the other ones. And numbers outside the grid indicate the sum of digits between the highest and lowest digit in that row/column, or sandwich sums is what they're called. So that essentially what that means is, let's say this 13 clue. Well, the lowest and your highest digits are in a column or any, orthogonally connected region are going to be 1 and 9. So whatever, let's say these are the 1 and 9, whatever these 3 digits are, they would have to equal that 13. That is a sandwich cell clue. So with all of that said, and like I said, there's a lot, looks like there's a lot going on. Let's dive into this thing and see if we can pick it apart. With that, the first place to look would be where? Well, let's start with these circles, because there is a limitation on them. They have to be odd. So it's 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Now, can we start removing some? This can't be 3 or 7. This can't be 1. This can't be 3 or 5. These can't be 7. This can't be 5. What does that do for us? Well, I guess we can look at every single one of these odd digits and make a determination. Okay, so it's just odd digits. So what that really means is, it's not that this can't be an odd digit. It's just that this can't be the same odd digit as this. So I wasn't quite correct in when I was describing, because it didn't quite process there, because I was just looking at this. Well, if this can't be an odd digit, period, break. So what that means is that, so yes, whatever this digit is, the knight's move constraint only applies to it because it's odd, not if it's even. Okay. Now, what does that do for us, if anything? Are there any of these knights move away from any existing odd digit? And the answer appears to be no. Okay. So that doesn't do a whole lot for us. We'll get rid of that 1. Just saw that. Now, what about sandwich clues? Now, in sandwich clues, there are some things we can work with, especially when we have very large or very small clues. Because as I said before, it's whatever is between the highest and the lowest digit, which is 1 and 9. So in, let's say, this 4 column, you're going to have a 1 and a 9 somewhere, and then the digits in between have to equal 4. Well, because we've already used the 1, and we have a 4 digit, it means that the 1 and the 9 have to only be 1 cell apart, i.e. there's 1 cell in between the 2 of them. And that cell must be a 4. Now, using that information, does that help me, or do I need to go back and look at the specifics of some of these odd digits that are given. I don't know that I can do anything with that at the moment. So let's go back and look. I guess we can pick through the ones that we know we already have some information in. So the ones can't be in any of those. Okay, so that gives me a 1. Why did that do that? I only wanted that one. Because this one would see that digit and that one would see that one, and they clearly see those. So let's continue with this look to see if we can figure out where there might be some other instances of, let's say, a 1 or something along those lines being ruled out. Now, I know this one is not a 1 because we just put a 1 there, but does that create any X-wing type situations? I don't see any. So let's remove that 1. Now let's look at this 3 maybe, because none of those can be 3s, because this 3 sees those two, and that one just normally, and this sees that one normally. So one of these is a 3, so this is not a 3. Now, these other 3s, well, this can't be a 3 because it forced this to be a 7. These other 3s don't really seem to do a ton of work. And I wouldn't venture into things like these 7 or 5 because they don't really seem to look at anything useful. So I think I'm in a situation where there's a lot going on and trying to focus on something that's going to give me some movement. Now, one other thing I can do with sandwich sums is that when you have a very high digit, there are certain areas within that row or column, depending on where you are, where you cannot put a 1 or a 9 because it doesn't leave enough room to put the required number of digits in to equal up to that sum. Oh, hello. You guys didn't see that. It's just some folders that open. It has nothing to do with anything. So in like a 30, you're going to have a 1 and a 9 somewhere. And I like to mark with green where they can't be, where the 1s and 9s can't be. Clear this one can't be a 1 or a 9. Can we ever put a 1 or a 9, let's say here? If we did, the closest we can put another one, or the furthest away, I should say, would either be here or here. Now, that at maximum that leaves 3 digits that can be added together to create the 30 total, but you need at least 4 digits to make a 30 total. So this cannot be a 9. So that is 3. So let's get something there at least. Now, that does give us a little bit more information on 3 there. Let's start putting these in. Now, we also know that because this is a 3, this digit and this digit couldn't be a 1 or a 9. Because if this digit was a 1 or a 9, we'd only have 3 on this side. We don't need the 3 here to determine this one can't be a 1 or a 9. But it would show that we'd only have a maximum of 3 here. We said we have to have at least 4, and we'd only have 2 possible here, so that can't work. Now, if this was a 1 or a 9, it would have been possible to put a 1 or a 9 here and have 4 digits in a row. Well, actually, it's not even true, so I'm kind of making a bad point, I guess, but if you were to think of just general 9876 is 4 digits need to make 30, well, you can't use 9. I just said that with the 1s previously, so it's actually not 4, it's 5 digits you need to make it. So we don't have enough room. So this cannot ever be a green. I didn't say that very well, and if you missed something there, I apologize. But let me describe it one more time in a sensical way and not a nonsensical way, like I've just done. So let's just look at a general, not even looking at what we've got here. Let's look at this 32, I guess is a better way to do it. We can never put 1s and 9s in such a position where it forces a small number of digits to therefore be in between those 1s and 9s. So looking at this one, could we ever put a 1 or a 9 here and here? No, because you have 3 digits in between. We can't reach 32. Same would be here. If you put one here, you can't put one there because you only have 3 digits. Could we put one here? Well, you obviously couldn't put one on this side because you have too few letters or numbers. If you put one on here, we only have 4 digits. We have to have at least 5 because we can't use a 9, so this doesn't work. Same goes for this one. So none of these can be 1 and 9. Hopefully I explained that a little bit better this time. This one then we know it can't be 1 or 9, so it has to be 5. Let's keep on coloring because this seems to be how we're going to have to do this. Now, this one here, if we look at this 13 clue, this can't be a 9 because if it was, you'd have to put a 13 in between these two somehow. So this has to be 5. Let's get you colored in. 26, I think, works the same way for both of these. So 4 digits without using a 9 is 8, 7, 6, and 5. That is 26 exactly. So yes, you could do a 4-digit. You can't do the one in the middle, because if this one was 1 or 9, you'd only have 3 digits no matter where you went. So that rules that one out. Okay. Same would go for this 25 clue. This one in the middle could never be a 1 or a 9. You'd have these digits, and then 3 digits, 8, 7, and 6 do not equal up to that amount. Let me keep moving on with my coloring. Now we know, we've got a 1 here. Is it possible that this was a 9? Clearly not, because it's the same situation here. So we either have a 9 in one of these 2 digits, or 2 spaces, cells, if you would. Now, if it was here, this would have to be a 5, a 6, to create 13. Same goes this way, or not the same, doesn't go that way. Jeez, I'm just all over the place right now. I'm sorry. If this was the 9, this would have to go with a 5 to make 13. So it would have to be 8. So one of these is going to have to be the 9, and then one of these is going to have to pick up whatever that other digit needs to make that. Now, maybe this 25, because we've ruled out quite a few places now where 1s and 9s can be. The 1 itself, well, that's actually even a better thing. I didn't even see that. Where's the 1 go in this row? Well, it can't go in these 2, clearly. It can't go here because this 1 sees it. It can't be any of these because that one just sees it in its row, and it can't be that one because that one sees it. And we know this can't be a 1 or 9 because we just proved it, so this is a 1. Okay. I know I'm making this a lot more difficult than it needs to be, but I'll get there eventually. So now that we know that this is the 1, we cannot put 9s in either of these 2 spaces because we wouldn't have enough room to make a 25. So 9 has to be in one of those 2. Now, we said that 8, 7, and 6 does not equal up to 25, so therefore we couldn't put the 9 here because the only thing we could put with 8, 7, 6 would be here. So this has to end up being our 9. And that finally gets us a 9, and we can get rid of this 9. Okay. Now, these 1s I just put in here, did they do anything for me? Not just yet. Okay, we'll keep off of those for now. Now, this row doesn't give me anything because there's no clue. This row doesn't give me anything because there's no clue on it either to go with my 1s and 9s. So where's the next place to look? We've got a 1 here, and we're going to be able to use both of these. So neither of these could be 9. Neither of these could be 9. This can't be 9 because we'd only have 1 space in between to make a 16 in. That doesn't work. So we end up having a 9 out here somewhere. This one just cannot be a 9. So we end up having a 9. We don't see anything from this 9 yet to rule that out. And this Kropki dot's not quite helping either. We can rule out these because the 17 is looking at it. We can also rule out these two because we need to have at least 2 digits. And in fact, we can keep going with that. Because this is a 17, we have to have 3 digits because we have to use the 9, and then we have to have we'd have to have at least 2 digits in between them. But all we're left with now is 8 and 7, which only gets us up to 15. So therefore, we have to at least have minimum of 3 digits in between. So that gets rid of that one, and then we can put our 9 here. And we can continue to remove 1s and 9s. So now none of these can be 1 or 9 because we see it there and we see it here. This one can't be a 1 or a 9 because it sees those. Can we go further with this? This one can't be. Okay, that does actually work. We've got 2 1s looking up here. We know this can't be a 1 because we proved it on this row. This one sees this one, so this is a 1. There's probably more we can do. Well, we can rule out these as being 1s and 9s because this box already has both of them. Now, using this one with the 7 clue, we cannot do any more than 2 digits away from this 1 to create our 9, because then, let's say we put it here, how do we make those 3 digits equal 7 when we can't use a 1? It'd be up to 2, 3, 4 would be the bare minimum. That's 9 already. So therefore, we know these 2 can't be 9, so this has to be 9. And then all of these are not 9s. And now we are forced to put a 9 here, which is going to tell us what this digit has to be, which is 8. We've got these that can't be not 1 or 9 because we've got them both already done. These can't be because they're already done. So one of these is 9, one of those is 9. And where do we continue this? Well, this one right here can't be 1 or 9 because it sees that one from there, and a Knight's Move sees this one. So we can get rid of that one. What other clues do we have outside? Well, this one right here can't be a 9. We know it can't be a 1. It can't be a 9 because of that 22 clue. So one of these 2 has to be 9. But that sees that one. So this is 9. Now we've removed these from the 9-age. So one of these has to be. And let's start pulling away all these other items. So this one now, it has a 9 clue. We can't go this way with the 9 because we already have a 9 here, and we can't go right next to it. So this ends up being the 9. Let's get rid of that. We can put in our 9 here, and we can greenify that one. Now we know these 2 digits have to equal 9. It can't be 8-1 because we got a 1 already. It can't be 6-3 because we've got a 3 out here. So this has to be 5 and 4. Oh, no, wait. I made a mistake there. Don't take that. This could be 7-2 or 5-4. My bad. I'm glad I caught that very quickly. All right. Next place to look. I don't have a clue going this way, so I can't necessarily rule out any of these. Now, this could never be a 9, because it sees a 9. Could it ever be a 1? I think the answer is yes. But we can go further into this. We know this isn't a 9 because of these. All of these are not 9s. We've got all of these greened out. So this one has to be 9. This has to be 3. This has to be 9. Let's get rid of these. Let's get rid of our 3. This is greened. So one of these 2 has to be a 1. because we have nowhere else in this box to put one, which means none of these can be, so one of these has to be. Now, we can tell you which one is which, because if we put a 1 here, the 9 would be all the way over here, and every other digit would have to be added in, and that would equal 35, not 26. So this is 7. This is 1. These are all out, because we've already got our 1s and 9s. And we're getting close now to getting our 1s and 9s figured, and we can remove some coloring after that. So, okay, let's look here. We've got a 9 now with our 4 clue. We said we can only have a single digit between the 9 and the 1. Well, clearly we can't go this way, so this has to be 1. We can get rid of all of this and color all this. This 9 can't be next to a 1 because of the 32 clue, so this is 1. And now that's going to give us a 1 up here, and that should be all of our 1s and 9s. If I'm not mistaken, it is. Okay, so let's get rid of our coloring because we don't need it anymore. Now that we've figured out that part of this, we know we've got a 32 clue up here. We know the 1s and 9s are here, so everything in here is going to add up to 32. And then there has to be one given digit that's not part of this entire equation. So, like I said, 1 through 9 added together is 45. We're already removing the 1 and the 9 from those equations, so that's 10, so we're down to 35. So the only remaining digit must get you down to 32 from 35, which is 3. And we get a doot. Lovely. Now I'm going to have to start looking or remembering to look back at the knight's move odd digits, because I think I can already see where it's coming together. So none of these can be 3 from normal Sudoku, and then that can't be. So this is 3. So let's run with our 3s, because I think we're going to find some things. This can't be 3, so that forces this to be 3. This can't be 3, because that would have to be 7 to equal to 10. No 3s in any of those, or there, so this is 3. Now this has to be 3. This we know has to be either 2 or 4, so we'll just put that in for right now. I think we're done with 3s, right? So 5s would be the next in line. Let's just kind of run down. So none of those can be 5, so this is 5. Keep moving. None of those could be 5. The 5 might not be as useful as I was hoping it would be. Yeah, it's not seeing a ton. How about 7? Does 7 do anything for us? We know that's not 7, so this can't be 2 because we've got the 9. Anything else on these 7s, or do you need to go back and go back into these sandwich clues, perhaps? Let's just check. Our 9s are done. We already knew that, so yeah. Looks like we've run out of our knight's move constraint for now. So where's another clue? Just scanning. So what about this? We've got 4 digits that have to equal 16. The bare minimum is 2, 3, 4, 5, which is 13. So there's still room to work on that one. How about here? We've got a little bit more of a constraint. We got to get to 16, but we know we have a 3 and a 5 already. So these two have to equal 8 in some manner. Now, they can't be 7, 1. They could be 6, 2. They can't be 5, 3. They can't be 4, 4. So this is a 2, 6 pair, which can give us. Does it give us anything here? Not really, because we're left with 4, 7, and 8. There's nothing really there to do anything. What about these? Well, we can do this row. Didn't see that. We've got a 26 clue here. So there has to be 2 digits outside of the 1 9s that equals 9. Because 26 to get to 35 is 9. So we already have a 7, so this has to be 2, and this has to be 4. Now we cannot use the knight's move for even digits, so let's not make that mistake of doing so. 30, that one's already pretty much taken care of. We just did the 26, we did the 16, this 16. What's the bare minimum these can be now? It's 4 and 7. Or we can just look at this 7. So this has to be 7. Now, 4 has to be here by Sudoku, so we got it a different way. I was going to do it just by seeing what the bare minimum is, what it's going to give me the exact same issue, but looking at these 4 digits have to equal 16. We're already at 14, so this has to be 2. Now this removes our 2, 7, so it did end up being 4 or 5, but this way is done legitimately. That 7 sees a 5. This has to be an 8. This has to be a 2 or a 6 for the column. These 2 digits, what do we have left over? We've got 8 and 6. 6 and 8. Can we do anything with the 6 or the 8? Yes, this can't be 6 because I would force this to be 4. So this is 8, 2, 6. That 6 has to be consecutive with something. It can't be a 5, so it has to be a 7. No, I don't know that just yet. These 2 digits have to be from 4 and 6. And they don't actually have anything looking at them just yet. Well, they have to do 2, 6. Sorry, I saw it there. This is 4, this is 6. Let's keep on it. Let's try to finish these sandwich clues. This one's done, 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 this one's done. 4, this has to be a 4. We could have put that in a while ago, but that's fine. Didn't do anything else really. This 22, we've got 4 digits to equal to 22. What's the minimum I could put in here? Because we already have some things outside of it are, what, 2, 4, 6, and 7, which is 19, so there's still room to move there. The 25 we can do, because we've got 7, 8, and 4 already in here. That's 19, so this has to be 6 and 2. The 13 is done. Let's make sure that adds up. 8 and 5 is 13. 7, we can do the 7. This is a 3, so this has to be a 4 between the 1 and the 9. Our 17 clue up here sees 3 and 2 already, so that's 5. We need 12 more. And it has to be 7 and 5. The only other digit is 6. If you put a 6 in there, it'd have to repeat with a 6, and clearly they can't work. So 5, 7 sees 4, 5. Now, these 2 digits are 6 and 8, which gives us this digit, which has to be 7. Now, we still haven't finished our odd digits, so let's take a quick look on those again. The ones we knew are done. 3s we knew were done. 5s, I think, are done. Yeah, 5s are done. Stop doing that. My mouse just seems to want to drag across things when I don't mean to do it. 5s are done. 7s, are 7s done? I would think they'd have to be. Yep, this has to be 7. This is either 8 or 6. There's nothing looking at it. Put those in for now. The other 7, there has to be a 7 here, and therefore a 7 here. So that should finish our 7s. It does, and our 9s should be done as well. Okay, so now all the odds are done. We can go back in and just finish all of this off. This 7 sees an adjacent digit, so it has to be 8. This has to be 2. This has to be 2 by Sudoku. This has to be 6 by Sudoku. This is 4. This is 8. This is either 6 or 8, and a C is a 6, an 8 there because of this row. So this is 6. That would be 8. 6, 8. Goodness me, I cannot click anything right now. These 2 are 4 and 2. This then has to be a 6. This has to be a 2. This has to be an 8. And we're pretty much done with this guy now. This has to be from 8. and these have to be from 2 and 4. We got a 4 there, so 2 and 4, and there we go. The solution is correct. And this just popped up, but apparently it's Sven's birthday. If you don't know, Sven is the one who creates the Sudoku pad, which is what a lot of people use for doing these puzzles. I do specifically. It apparently is his birthday, and he does a lot of great work. So if you all want to go check him out on his Patreon and help him out, buy him a cup of coffee, blah, 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 whatever you want to do, I would definitely recommend doing so, because these puzzles we do would not be as much fun to do because we wouldn't have this wonderful piece of software that shows us or has so much that we can use instead of it being very basic like it used to be back in the past if you've done these for a long time. So let him know that you guys support him, and I'm going to do so as well. Anyway, that was No Odd Nights by Taco. Excellent puzzle. Worked out great. Lots of wonderful logic to get you through the board. Hope you all enjoyed that one, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks.